cleansing breath, good air in, bad air out. Just take a breather.
Everything's going to be okay.
This is the Wally Show podcast, the Aftercast.
Here's the ocean.
It's all the stuff we didn't get to during the course of the show today. I just walked in here like...
There's a seagull.
Oh, nice. I had to go. It just got hit by something. Oh, my goodness. I just went and checked an email for a interview we're doing today for our Day of Hope coming up. And it's this apologist. And so I've been trying to book him. And inside of radio, when you are booking a guest, they need certain information from you. You know, who's on the show, the name, the links, the phone numbers, emergency contact. So I finally found this guy, finally tracked him down. I get him. His people then send me this information. I said, okay, here you go. And I sent him all that information. I hear nothing back from him. So then I reach back out, like you should always do. And I said, hey, and I'm not sure what happened, but I haven't heard back from you. Oh, we didn't get any emails from you. I need this information. Like, oh, well, you got this email, so that's a good start. So here's all the information, and I told her, I said, this is what I sent you on the 24th. So I did respond, but here it all is. So thank you. Looking forward to it. So then I don't hear anything back in response to that all day yesterday. And so I called the company and I said, hey, I don't know if this lady's getting my emails, and it's really important because we have an interview tomorrow. And she goes, okay, well, you should email her. And I said, no, that's been the problem. So I need to talk to her. And she's like, oh, well, I can talk to her for you. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I start explaining what I need, and then she's getting all the details wrong. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. So finally I get an email, like I guess it would have, they're California time. So I get an email, I see it this morning, but it would have been from late last night after I had already gone to bed. And it's like, we still need that link for Greg for tomorrow morning. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. And so I scroll down. The email she's responding to, I have all that information in it.
Yeah.
So I copy and paste it again from the bottom to the top. I'm like, here's the information from the bottom of this email. You know, it's like, it'll be a miracle. I swear, if we talk to this guy today, it's going to be a miracle, a miniature miracle.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand it.
It's not a good look.
Yeah, like are these young people and they don't know any better? Are they older people that are doing this? I have no idea. But then I'm on the fence because there's part of me that's like, if one of you two was a knucklehead, I would want someone to tell me, you know, hey, I had this experience with them. It wasn't good. They didn't do their job. Like, I would want to know so that I could go to you and go, hey, explain to me what happened. I know you guys, so I would be like, well, what happened? I'm not going to just take their side. I want to know what could have gone wrong. Yeah. And I would expect that from this guy. Fine, go to them. You know, but I'm like halfway, like I want to do the interview and go, hey, it's a miracle we got to talk to you because here's what happened. Boom, 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 boom. I think you need to know this.
Do you have his email address?
I don't. Yeah, I've never met him. So
maybe you can ask this person for their email address.
Good idea.
And then send an email.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say it.
Yeah.
Where it's being,
Yeah, but then it's not in writing either, so it goes away, which is good because he wouldn't have access to the audio. So I could say whatever I want. No, but then I'm like, should I even bother? That's the hard part. Like that, I think that's my quandary.
Is it going to bother you? Are you going to regret it?
It frustrates. No, because I'll forget about it the next day.
Yeah, do you see this as being a one-off interview?
Yeah, I'll never talk to this guy.
This isn't something you want to come back to and build a future relationship with.
Yeah, no, I mean, this guy's really talented. Like, he's really smart, and I like him. I like his content. So I could see if I built a relationship with him in the future when we have questions about apologetics to be able to go, hey, love to get your thoughts on this. Because he's like a super cool guy, and I like what he says. So I'm really excited to talk to him. It's just been a problem to get to him.
You know, you remind me of how I feel or how I react on certain days of the month.
Yes.
But you're like that all the time.
All the time, yeah.
So typically my reaction would be, they're just having an off day.
Yeah.
Like, I've had those days myself.
Sure.
Like, I'm going to throw them a bone.
Sure.
But if you catch me on a bad day,
yeah, which
is you.
Burn it down.
Yeah, then I would say something.
Yeah, I'm always MSing. So, yeah.
So
I'm Mr. MS.
Well, I think you're looking for you're missing a letter, but yes.
Mm-hmm. MMS, yeah, Mr. MS. That's what I was thinking.
Mr. MS.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. MMS.
So you're Mr. MMS or Mr. M?
Multiple
you're making this harder.
Sclerosis?
You want to work? You should go work for this lady. You just made everything harder.
He didn't get the email. Sorry.
Okay. This is a really weird story. I just had to share. I'm sorry, because it was like right on my mind when I walked in here, so I was already distracted. Okay.
He was triggered, guys.
Oh, stop that.
That's true.
I mean, yeah, it's not wrong, but I don't like that terminology. I'd rather just share my truth and be okay in a safe zone to be able to do that.
One and the same.
I know. Okay. According to Elon Musk, the first human received an implant from his computer-brain interface company called Neuralink over the weekend. You would think I'm making this up. This sounds so futuristic and scientific that it cannot be possible. But on a post that he did on X, he said that the implant was put in the day prior. The recipient is recovering well. And what this is, because I had to look it up because I had no idea. I'd never even heard of it. What they're doing is they're taking and they're putting in people's brains, in essence, a chip that gets wired right into their brain, like just stick it in there like a computer chip. And what it's supposed to do is help with the communication between the body and the brain. So people that have lost mobility in their limbs, this is letting them, this is where it gets really weird, letting them think about what they're trying to do, and it happens. Like, so they've figured out the parts of your brain, they've mapped the brain to where, like, say, typing or whatever. And so these electrodes or whatever it is go into your brain, they slide it on there, and you can be thinking, I need to type. I'm going to type this letter or whatever. And you would be able to do that now.
If you had a disability. Yes.
And so that's where it's starting at this place for disabilities, which I think is amazing. And I'm assuming too, it gets to, well, I'm going to start thinking about walking. And so I've had an impasse in those neurons that were allowing that to happen. And so now with this chip, whatever's on that chip, I have no idea. Probably self-driving Tesla information. But whatever's on there where it's hardwired into your brain, the hope is to allow you to just think of normal things that you need to do, and this will send the right receptors to where it needs to go.
I could see, first off, I saw a video once about people suffering from Parkinson's,
yes.
I believe, and they did something to their brain. I don't know what it was, but it sounded something similar to that. And immediately when they kicked it on, like they turned it on like a switch, the Parkinson's, the shakes would just go away, and they could feed themselves, they could brush their own hair, brush their own teeth.
Michael J. Fox was involved with the early stuff of that because he got it really bad.
I could also see where this would help someone who is dealing with addiction. So let's say, for instance, like you're dealing with an opioid situation.
Sure.
Like you don't want to do it anymore, but the feeling, the craving is still there.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder if eventually people be like, you know what, I've got this craving for opioids. If I get this thing implanted in my head, it'll take the want away.
That would be crazy.
Or
if that was
what
true.
if it's to lose weight? Like
I'd have 3 of them implanted.
It makes you stop wanting food as much or bad food.
Yeah, I mean, you could extrapolate this out to the crazy extreme. Well, I just want to think about doing whatever, and all of a sudden your body does it. Like
or
how far
with
could
depression
it get? Yeah,
or anxiety.
It has some great options in the future, but then you also get to where you're playing God, and it could be really weird.
And we all become robots,
right? Well, like Michael J. Fox, he had brain surgery years and years and years ago. It's gotten more sophisticated now, the treatment for Parkinson's, but he did it really early on. I remember I was at Radio Disney and we were interviewing him, and he came in like his head was shaved like really short, like buzz cut, and he was just he just wasn't right. Like he hadn't told anyone about Parkinson's yet. And my friend and I, my partner and I, when he left, we were like, was he high? Like he was not normal, you know. And we later found out he had come to this interview soon after going through this surgery for Parkinson's disease. Like no one knew at that time. It was like, oh my gosh. Well, I mean, that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't there yet, you know. I saw a thing with him the other day, and it's advanced pretty far on him. But he's done a lot to raise awareness and money to help out other people that maybe his might be too far advanced, but other people he's done a lot of good for too. And so that's pretty cool. Like he's one of those celebrities that I think we were talking about on the regular podcast, the vibe. I think a lot of people like Michael J. Fox, you'd be like, oh, good vibe, like good person vibes. So, Lady Rock, what do you got?
The top trending social media app and Wally's favorite app, TikTok.
Yes!
It could be seeing a drop in consumers thanks to their stubbornness.
What?
So TikTok is all about subscribers making videos paired with popular music, but Universal Music Group, they're the company that owns the licensing of artists like Lady Gaga and Taylor Swift.
Oh, they're a big one, yeah.
Yeah, they can't come to an agreement with TikTok on what's fair when it comes to licensing. So this protects their artists getting paid, making sure they get paid for the work that they do, and protecting them from AI, just to name a few.
Well, think of all the dance videos, think of all the funny videos, think of all the music you've been exposed to, like the Taylor Swift song, It's Me, Hi, I'm the Problem, It's Me. I had no idea that song even existed until TikTok. The Fancy Like Applebee's, TikTok, a ton of songs. And so if they pull that, I mean, people will just find other things to do, and so they're just going to ultimately hurt their artists. But, I mean, those were some really good ones and some big artists. So they're trying to use their leverage on TikTok to get a favorable deal. But but you're dealing with a Chinese company, too, so, like, don't care.
And, two, I think most artists, if they don't have as big of a following as Lady Gaga or Taylor Swift, they don't care if TikTok takes.
Absolutely. They want you to.
Yeah, that's the way people are finding new music these days. Instead of going to other places, that's where they're finding it.
Walker Hayes made far more off the, remnants and the not backlash, but the good fallout of using his Fancy Like song than he did off of the half of a penny he gets every 10,000 times it's played. He made far more in the publicity from it.
Right. And before you get mad at Universal Music Group,
Too late.
They are very open about their side of the situation with TikTok, posting an open letter that said, quote, ultimately, TikTok is trying to build a music-based business without paying fair value for the music.
I understand that.
So in that case, they do need to do something.
Their job is to look out for their artists, and that's where, like, Napster years ago got shut down because there was no agreement in place to pay for the royalties, and digital was a really hard thing. And it still is a tricky thing to navigate for artists, like how much money they make off of digital songs. Because before it was a lot easier. You would go out and you'd buy an album and you knew, here's the album, and that was it. You got paid for it. Now, songs, streaming services, they had to figure out how much a song and how many spins was worth how much money, and they all had to agree on that and then pay the royalties out. And then you had people sharing music, and so it's a murky part of that business that's frustrating. That's why so many bands, they don't make money on their streaming. They if you're huge, you do, but most bands don't. They make money being out on the road and merch. That's where they make the lion's share of their money. It's not from album sales anymore, So that's the thing. When you go and you see shows, you're actually supporting that artist. That artist is actually making money.
And buying that $80 sweatshirt.
Now, I think that's wrong. But again, they've been forced to do stuff where they're making money. And even those, they hire a company to do all that for them because they can't do it all. So they hire a company that sets the prices, and the company then is like responsible for that, and then they make the money off of it. And they make a big share off of that as well. So there you go. Let's get some birthdays.
We don't have any birthdays, but we do have a question. This is from Peyton, and it's a question for Gavin.
No.
He said, we just heard Gavin is having a baby. We are due with our second in July. Congratulations. We want to know which baby product price has shocked Gavin the most so far.
Oh, man.
I'll tell you, probably Gavin, you would probably even agree with this too. Since you were a baby, they keep coming out with more and more things that, like for now, like they have booger
suckers.
No, they always had those.
Those are that big ball.
But they pretty much have it's like wet wipes, but smaller, and they're called boogie wipes. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes, and they're just for wiping your kid's nose. Well, back in the day, you just got a wet paper towel, you got your hand, or you got,
And those
your
would be good because
clothes.
I bet you they're lotioned, so you won't, because little kids' noses get so chafed. I would use those.
Well, and also they have now wipe
Wipe warmers. Yeah.
And so they didn't have that back in the day.
Oh no, that was a shock. Hey, what are we doing here?
This is cold.
Like, it was always funny to watch your baby's face.
Whoa.
Like they're already a little weird. Like, what are we doing? And then all of a sudden you hit them with that, and they're like, hey, hey, hey. Then their little eyes get about this big.
So far, Gavin, what's it been like?
Oh man, it's interesting because we haven't bought a million things or looked at a lot of price tags for a lot of things. Like, we just bought maybe the first outfit for our kid.
Yeah.
We bought a glider for our nursery, and I mean, that was expensive, but in a way that
Worth it though.
is a chair that I see being a 10+ year investment.
It didn't surprise you.
No, that one didn't surprise me. I at least remember whenever I was when my in-laws were having like our nieces and nephews, and they were talking about the prices of formula. Formula sounds like a nightmare, and diapers as well. Like, just the amount. I know you have to go through X amount of diapers every single day, but I just remember finding out that formula and diapers were much more expensive than I expected.
We didn't have an option. We had to do formula.
Yeah.
Like, we wouldn't have chose that, but it was like, oh, well, this is what we're going to do.
It is kind of a wait and see thing, and I know that there are multiple people in my area and Haley's family where like it wasn't an option, and for some people it was, and there's a little bit of guilt that goes.
In some
with
ways,
that.
I know. I hate all the mom guilt with that stuff because my wife carried that for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, this isn't your fault. Like, it's not a big deal. And in some ways, it was actually really good because I could take feedings for her, like late night feedings and stuff like that. Super easy, or when we were out places, I mean, it was so easy to go to dinner and like, here's your bottle, And I know you can pre-plan and stuff, but like, I found it like way easier personally. But.
Yeah, for sure. I Googled a couple of things. So the average cost of formula per month, if they're just on a formula-fed diet exclusively, costs between $400 and $800 a month.
Really? It was that much? I didn't even realize that.
That's a lot of money.
I don't know if I'm financially ready for that.
Well, it's a little late now.
Then I looked at, when it comes to disposable diapers,
It's got to be less than that.
how much do you pay per month for diapers? $70 per month.
Okay,
that's not too bad.
That's a little bit better.
Now I looked
Crazy
at,
because a kid can go through like 5, 8, 9 a day sometimes.
Yeah.
You're like,
Sure.
what are you little Play-Doh fun factory?
squeeze on their bladder, especially your kids. Squeeze on their bladder a bit before you change their diaper, just to make sure they got it all out, so you don't have to put a new one on. Then they mess that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good tip. I'll remember that.
Don't ask the doctors. Like they will say that's probably not a good idea, but I say that. Okay. Then I Googled what's the typical cost of a baby each month. So
this
typical
would include like stuff like formula, diapers, food, or anything else.
Yeah,
what else
anything.
is there?
Doctors.
Yeah,
appointments.
doctors.
Yeah, I know. Can't wait.
$1,080 a
Oh
month
my god.
Okay. I mean,
for a baby.
sure. And that's not even including the less money you bring in because now there's a kid on your insurance plan.
You're like, I don't spend that on me.
No.
Like, why am I spending it
Yeah.
on this thing?
Yeah.
I
that's
don't
a
think
lot.
I don't think it'll be that bad.
I don't think it'll be that bad. I also think that we're going to benefit from the giving of like other people when it comes to stuff. We had Haley's sister donate a lot of diapers to us when she
Nice.
got through that phase with her
That's nice.
newborn, and she was like, I don't plan on having another kid anytime soon,
Nice.
so take these. So we have a lot of those that are prepped and ready. I personally, you guys know, this whole gag reflex thing is pretty bad. Diapers are going to be fun.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
know that
Oh.
I know I will step up to the plate.
Yeah, you have
I
to.
am thinking about this right now.
Yeah.
I want to gag really badly right now.
Yeah. There are some
I have
days.
a Canada Dry to help.
There are some days that you're like, I cannot even fathom what just happened, and you will like.
I'm not ready for blowouts.
I've had a few of those, and I'm not really squeamish with that stuff. But I'm like, oh Lord, I love watching the videos of guys online where they've got like goggles on and something. They're like,
I think I'm
ridiculous.
going to whip out my COVID masks.
That's not a bad idea.
For when that happens. I've
Not
still
a
got
bad
those
idea.
tucked away somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
No, why not help myself? I'm trying to help the kid. I need to be best prepared for taking on doo-doo.
Yeah, if he
okay?
passes out, like that's not going to be good.
Yeah,
He hits
or
his head.
Or
Think
if
about
I,
that.
get sick, it's even worse.
You are a grown man.
Yeah, and I'm
gagging.
going to.
And I've heard too. Their first one.
Yeah,
I know. I know
First
that
dirty
there's
diaper,
I know there's a
tar.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've heard
like for like a few
a little
days.
bit at the beginning.
Yeah.
I've heard about that.
Yeah. Don't understand it. It's weird.
Use your registry
Yes.
well.
I will take a million and all the advice that I can get from anyone, whether it's emails or.
What if it's bad advice?
Then I'll learn from
Like
that too.
squeezing
probably.
the bladder before
Yeah.
You just said
change
that.
the diaper.
I do that with myself most days.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, I don't think it'll be. You'll get into it and you won't feel it like as much as you think when you start doing the numbers on it.
Sure.
On paper, the thing that will surprise you
You'll
is
just
like,
be sad all the time.
yeah, the
I'll just be doing
like get
less
your
fun
parents
stuff.
to give you a pack and play and a crib, because cribs are stupid
Stroller.
expensive.
We've got
strollers, hundreds of
Yeah.
dollars.
Stupid expensive.
Yeah.
We've got
Car
this.
seat.
Yeah.
We've got this crib picked out that we really want, and it's something that goes from bassinet to crib
Yeah, it's
to
good.
toddler bed.
Yeah, it's
so
smart.
it's something that will grow
Also-
with them.
The stroller game has changed a lot. It has done a lot better. The one that my parents put me in looked like they got it from Dollar General.
Oh, sure.
But nowadays they make them foldable and all this
Yeah.
stuff, and they've gotten so good at them. But my friend had one, and I thought, oh, everybody should have this, where the car seat just hooks straight into the stroller.
Yes.
That way you
I've
don't
seen
have to
that.
take them out of the car seat, then put them in the stroller seat.
Right.
You just move them from
Yeah.
one to the next.
Yeah, you leave
Do
the
that.
base in place, and we used those. It was great.
I want to get a roller that I've seen this online where it's a roller and you have the baby, but then you have this little gap where you can put your golf clubs.
Oh,
That way, because Haley's like, well, on a day when Haley just needs some time to herself,
yeah,
I'm just rocking with this kid.
not
out
a bad
on the
idea
course.
until your kids start screaming in everybody's backswing. Like
I'm just screaming 4.
Yeah, no, you'll be fine. It's not a problem.
yeah.
Then it has a dirty diaper, and you don't have a mask with you. Oh, those will be good days.
He uses a golf club over his face.
I'm less worried and less stressed about it than
Good.
You have
I
an excuse to
expected.
watch Bluey. Now.
Yeah, it's not creepy now.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Well, that's gonna have to do it for our Aftercast. We're gonna go do this interview for
Wait.
Day of
Let's bring back
Hope.
the beach. Remember?
I hate seagulls.
Oh, that was a. Oh,
Thanks
I-
for being a potty.
I shot it out of the sky.
man.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.